aquí Rosmarie Sánchez con tu programa Hablando Entre Mujeres. Thank you so much for being tonight here in your show. You're the name of Talking Between Women, and I do have a special invited guest, which I'm so thrilled to present and also talk about his story and everything that surrounds his life. And this is James Erd.
What's up, girl?
Very well. Bienvenue. Welcome. Feel home.
Thank you for having me. I'm a very big fan of yours. I've been watching the show.
I love that. You know what? It is beautiful when you surround with people that shows you kindness, that shows you that it's real, that there's something out there that you can outpour love, and this is who you are. That's why you're here. You're the star tonight.
Like attracts like.
Right? I believe in that. And I shall say that this show, it's been broadcasted in different countries right now. We have Aldea Radio, which we thank for having this every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And they broadcast in Miami.
Nice.
Yes, in Ohio, Colombia, Peru. And also we have Universus Radio who broadcast in Mexico, in Morelia.
Nice.
But also Aldea Radio broadcasts in Mexico, Oaxaca. So Mexico is kind of like familiar to us. Nice. In many ways. And we have Urbana TV FM, who also broadcasts this show in the Caribbean islands, Dominican Republic, and many other countries around. So how do you feel being here tonight?
Oh, wow. I feel very Spanish.
Un aplauso. Ok, él dice que se siente en casa. Muy bien. Okay, con gente que habla español y eso es vibrante. So, James, I have a few questions that I want to unfold, that I want to give, to our audience tonight and make them feel special as you are. And let them know, out of your image here and everything that you have done so far in life as a visionary, luminary, evolutionary, who's living well and doing well, as this is your statement.
Living well and doing good.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Just got one word.
Close. Living well in life, like
yes.
Really doing well, and then doing good, giving back.
Excellent. And how do you do that?
How did I do that? Mm-hmm. Or how do I do that? Or how did I get there?
Yeah, because, you have trajectory, right? Like, you have done it for years. Mm-hmm. You keep on doing it. And how did that start?
Can I be honest? Is your audience,
for sure,
listeners, are they sensitive or
can
they handle it?
I don't think. I think this show is really meant to be for people who are watching there real and people. Saying tonight, I want to get real
get
you.
The goods.
Yes.
All right, then. Brace yourselves.
Well, let's go.
So started off as a young man in London, Ontario. Grew up in a Central European German family, so very, very traditional, very, very strict.
Alrighty.
When I was going into grade 3, I got bullied a lot by some individuals, and I got bullied again when I was going into grade 9, and I just put my foot down. I said, no more. Joined a gang.
Wow.
A multicultural gang, so most of my friends were Jamaican, Trinidadian, and Arabic.
Okay.
At the time, and London is a very Caucasian city, so I was like that crazy one white guy, like hanging out with everybody else, and it was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun, but we got in a lot of trouble. Obviously, with that type of activity, you have drugs, gang violence, gun violence, crime. Got involved with a lady, a very pretty girl, the ex-girlfriend of the captain of the football team. So he didn't like me very much. So it caused a little bit of a rift, we'll say.
Okay.
And she brought a check one day to me for $1,000. She's like, she forged it from her dad, and she's like, "Oh, go cash this check, right?" And I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm gonna lose the pretty girl if I don't do this, right?" So
you were in a threat there.
Yeah.
Either I do what she says, or I don't get what I want.
Bye bye, right?
Already.
So I was like, okay, it's $1,000. Good kid, bad choice. So I work with at-risk youth now. Fast forwarding into the future.
Okay.
Then she comes to me again 2 weeks later. Let's go to Mexico, party. All right, we go to Cancun.
Who doesn't go to Mexico and doesn't party? I'm sorry.
So,
okay.
I was young. I was 17, right? So I hadn't been to Mexico to party yet. $10,000 check. Okay,
wow.
So, in the jungle, they say, you never light a match twice. First, they see you, and second, they blow your head off, right? So
wow.
they were waiting for me at the bank,
wow.
and her father and the police, and I got charged for fraud and forgery. I didn't rat her out. I didn't say she had anything to do with it. Went to prison on my 18th birthday, charged as a 17-year-old man, but convicted as an 18-year-old adult.
Oh, wow.
And even though I was juvenile at the time when I committed the offense, the courts took too long, and then I was put into adult prison. So I started my adult life for the first 3 months of it in prison. So you learn that entire side of the world.
Let's just stop you there because, I mean, I'm sure that, have you listened? This is a really impressed story. But yeah, no, that's real. And I thank you for that. I'm really thankful that you said this.
I actually speak about it in high school, so I don't share anything.
Wow.
So I don't like withhold anything that I share. Right, it's the truth is very important to come out because the kids that are making the choices nowadays, they're much more dangerous nowadays. There's different drugs, more chemicals, different types of violence. Violence is desensitized now. It's not talked about as much anymore because it's almost normal.
You said one word very precious there. It's almost normal, and it's true. It's true. It's like, I send my kids every morning and I pray to God, get them with you everywhere they go because you don't know. You never know. So I believe that saying this story tonight and with the honest heart that you have and bringing this to the audience, it does really open up an eye in there saying, you know what? This person went through really hell, per se, but there's a way out of the tunnel.
100%. Never too late to be great, right?
Exactly. And there was something interesting there. You said you were at 17, not convicted, right? And they waited for you to be at 18 in order to convict you, right? So this is a trick out of the system. I mean, they did what they thought it was easier for them, but maybe not for you at all.
And there's nothing rehabilitative about prison. So, I'm big into rejuvenation, not rehabilitation. And it's pretty much the university of the streets. It's the school of criminology. You meet worse people, bigger criminals, learn all kinds of stuff that you probably shouldn't be learning as a young 18-year-old man. And, when I got out, I got out on, I was working in the kitchen range in the prison. I was doing tea and coffee for like 800 inmates every meal, right? So I kept myself busy, and that way I stayed outside of the violence within the prison. So I was pretty smart that way.
Wow.
Got out. I was the only kid that didn't graduate with my class because of it. And then I went back to adult school, and I got my high school diploma because it's obviously so important. And that's what I support the kids with nowadays to go back and at least get that.
Wow. But let's say when you go out and you find yourself, okay, I went to prison, I stayed for 3 months, right?
3 months, correct.
Yes.
Which is an eternity for an 18-year-old.
Yeah, no, right? for sure, 100%. Yeah. Even I think for anybody, right?
Yeah. Like even one day that ride to the prison when it's the unknown,
Exactly.
I was the youngest guy ever in the prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
I have a few questions, but I think I have to know the audience because we have bilingual audience going here. So I think it's important for them to understand.
Yeah, I'll continue after.
Thank you. So, habla James acerca de su historia de vida, como su historia real. Él habla que detrás de esta imagen que él es, un hombre ya que se ha convertido, que ha hecho muchos cambios en su vida, cambios que han hecho mucho bien para muchas personas y que él enfrentó su vida con mucha angustia, como estar en la cárcel, llegar cuando era tan solo de 17 años, esperaron que él tuviera 18 años para que le dieran la convicción y pues lo tuvieran retenido por 3 meses. Él dice que eso fue una eternidad y yo digo, eso de eternidad, eso es para todo el mundo. Yo creo que nadie quiere estar en una prisión. Hizo muchos... ¿cómo se puede decir? Él tomó muchas decisiones erradas por muchacho, quería vivir la vida, le ofrecieron poder hacer un cheque, $10,000 y mandarlo al banco cuando no era realmente un cheque que habían firmado, sino por supuesto hicieron algo errado y sacaron el dinero y por supuesto eso es estafa. Entonces por tal, James, una vez que sale de la cárcel, pues se encuentra en este momento, ¿qué hago yo con mi vida? Y vamos a seguir hablando de todo esto en inglés. Esta historia es una historia real, pero no tan solo la traje por ser real, sino porque las historias que se hacen para precisamente que tú que estás escuchando hoy, por medio de la radio, por medio de la televisión, que algún día mañana, cuando estés allá afuera y digas, ¿sabes qué? Yo escuché a James Earl, la historia de él, y por eso pude tomar una decisión asertiva de cambiar, de ser otra persona, porque no quiero enfrentar lo mismo que él enfrentó, o simplemente sé que hay mejores lugares a como él ha llegado. Entonces, síguenos aquí con nosotros, no se vayan, y vamos a seguir en inglés y vamos a darle una entrevista de las dos idiomas, ¿ok? So James,
exactly.
Isn't that great? Isn't that great? I love it. You know, there's synergy here. But I wanted to especially say thank you to the audience. I have Doris Valdivia. Buenas noches. Gracias, Dori. Thank you, Dori. If you can like, share, and perhaps share out, you know, with good messages there, that would be amazing. This is your show. As yours tonight.
Gracias.
De nada. So, James, when it comes to the time that you're out of the jail now and you find yourself, okay, now what am I going to do? What should I do? What step I have to look forward in life? What happened next? What did you do?
Well, I mean, it's not all doom and gloom. You know, I realized obviously being in there, that's not fun, right?
For sure.
By the time I was 30, I had 8 friends already dead from either drug overdoses or shot dead from gun violence, including my best friend.
Wow.
Not fun burying 8 friends, you know, and that stuff does happen in Canada, in Toronto, in London, right? It's around us all the time, everywhere. You know, it's worse now. You just don't hear about it as much as you do in the U.S. They don't talk about it as much as they do in the U.S., but it's here. So basically, I decided to turn my life around. I became a personal trainer, right? So
Okay.
3-day course. You go and you get your CanFit Pro certification. I started a job at Good Life Fitness, and I went very quickly from personal trainer to master trainer to elite plus trainer to fitness manager to being nominated for personal trainer of the year to being nominated for Canadian Fitness Manager of the year. And then I became the largest revenue generating trainer in the history of the company.
Wow.
So turned it right around.
Okay. Hello. That's why I said from the beginning when you arrived, you are the star. And that's what it's about. I mean, out of the very difficult pattern of what you went through, right? You know, shifting in a few matter of years, it really gave you the confidence. I can be somebody else. I don't have to be trapped in my past. I just have 100%. To follow, correct. I have to follow my presence and become a better future.
Be the leader.
There you go. And I've seen it because from your biography that I have, you said you've been in Rogers TV, CBC, CBS, Breakfast Television, City TV, Match Music Channel, Toronto Star, Mississauga News, fitness magazines, for sure. Come on. You must. And websites. So, I mean, this is something really important there. I have to say something really, really good. I have David Morales, who's he's an announcer here with us too. He has another show. Hi, David. Hola, David. Gracias por estar aquí en el show. Y we did a show last week together, even with Joseph. And it was an incredible fun time. And that's what I love doing. Nice. When you come here and you're sitting down, we're talking serious stuff. Like we're talking serious of living in a purpose and showing that energy to people. But also, meantime, we laugh because right now it's the past, but it becomes so truthful to your life that looking at it, I don't think it's anymore something a tragedy. It's a fun thing to live the way you live. What can you say about that?
We make it what it is, right? And if we put, negative vibes out into the universe, very low resonating emotions, anger, sadness, disappointment, you're going to get that back. And then when you consciously shift to better feeling emotions from your heart, and we have that power to shift at any given time.
100%.
It's the emotional guidance system that we were given. It's like your internal GPS, and feelings is what attracts, something to our life. So joy, abundance, love, all those types of good feelings, you're going to get more of that. So throw a punch in the universe, guess what's coming back?
Well, right? Whatever you desire.
You're going to get a big loving hug back.
Definitely.
Right? Very simple.
And there's something important there when you're talking about abundance, joy, peace, love, all the fruits of the Spirit. Now, you have done something significant to other people, and it's the Dynamo Entrepreneur.
Yes.
Alrighty, so I'm waiting, I'm counting, and like, okay, can you tell me much more about it? Because there's a lot of people involved in this. Let us know, what is Dynamo Entrepreneur?
Yeah, just like your show is for them,
okay.
Dynamo Entrepreneur is also for them and for you and for others to share their
Thank
voice,
you.
Right? So people have a voice, people have the ability to write.
Yes.
People can kinesthetically get people involved in, workshops where they see, they hear, they act it out, they learn. So I create platforms for predominantly speakers, authors, internet marketers, coaches, anybody involved in the personal development space that wants to be a better expert. As simple as like a book publishing company that I own. A book is the new business card, right? It's something that you're not going to throw away, right? A business card, people when you're sharing them wide, what happens to them? We throw them in file G, right? And, a book, though, is going to end up on the shelf, and it might even be more than one person that sees it. And now you've positioned yourself as the expert in that space.
As an authority.
As an authority, yeah.
100%. And this is something really good. I must say.
And congrats on your new book.
Thank you. That's what I was going to say.
And I hear there's another one coming out.
It is. Well, from here, Spiritual Fitness Survivor is this official sponsor, okay, with Daniela Roman and Emilio Roman.
Great book.
Yeah, it is an amazing book. Did you read it?
My copy, yeah. I'm halfway through.
Okay. Have you gone to my chapter yet?
Not yet.
Okay. He's honest. So let me tell you, out of this book, 26 authors with real struggle life, like we're talking now.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, the real deal.
The real deal. And became a successful person, working life still, but achieved greatness. Yeah. And this is what we're looking for. This is the purpose, like yours. So,
and everybody has a story.
For sure.
Everybody's an expert in two things: pain, pleasure. Right? There's your
I love that.
Your first book is pain. Right? That's the easiest topic we have. We're all experts in how to get out of that pain, and people will pay for those remedies. Wow. And charge them because you've gone through it. You've done the work.
It is. You know what? You open my perspective here, but I shall say that I have to translate this again. Sure. So, cut of time.
I'll just listen.
Gracias. Entonces, ustedes, mis amigos hermosos que están escuchando, que son parte de esta audiencia dinámica y divina y excelente y todo lo que se puede decir de algo emocionante. Bueno, él habla precisamente, él ha estado, James, en diferentes programas de televisión como Rogers TV, CBC, CBS, Breakfast Television, City TV, Match Music Channel, Toronto Star, Mississauga News y muchas websites. Entonces, siendo él un entrenador como él, que cuando salió de la cárcel empezó a entrenarse en la parte física, en todo lo que es fisiculturismo. Por supuesto, estuvo en diferentes gyms y fue progresando, y después fue algo que fue explosivo, tanto que llegó a ser entrenador de personas importantes. Y por eso es que él empieza como ese mundo donde todo el mundo quiere saber quién es James. Ahora, eso lo trajo también a algo que se llama Dynamo Entrepreneur, que Dynamo, o Dinamo en español, es un grupo de personas que están haciendo diferencia en el ambiente de lo que es emprender a nivel de lo que es un libro. Por supuesto, personas que están haciendo conferencias, que están hablando en diferentes lugares, están trayendo y transmitiendo sus vidas y, lo más importante, su conocimiento. Él hace que estas personas que se incluyan en este programa que se llama Dynamo, que es acerca de los emprendedores, sean capacitados, desarrollados y, por supuesto, llegan a la estrategia que ellos quieren. ¿Cuál? Que con su desarrollo, el negocio que vayan dando, puedan también transmitirlo a otros y hacer de ellos una autoridad por medio de un libro, que precisamente van a tener un título y no va a ser como una carta que la tiras, bueno, hola, hasta luego, sino que realmente las personas van a saber, eres tú un autor. So, thank you so much.
You remembered all that?
Yes, kind of. I wish
Are you a translator in your other life or what?
No.
You could be.
Maybe, who knows?
You speak German?
No.
Right.
I wish I can. Thank you, thank you. I speak a little bit of French. I love learning.
Un petit.
Un petit. So I did much of what I could. I mean, specifically each word, it's difficult, but I think, our audience is very satisfied. The Spanish side.
The Spanish one.
Yes. Okay, so we were talking about Dynamo. And when are you bringing the next conference, or what you're planning ahead? What you're doing right now for people to be exposed? Because I guess people who are already in the program, they have excelled, they have done things, and now you're getting new people involved. Is that how it is?
Correct.
Okay, let us know a little bit more.
We have the Dynamo Speaker Talent Search. We've had 9 of these events.
I am.
Correct. Yeah. And it's one of our staple events. We do 2 a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. It's 20 individuals that compete head-to-head with audience voting. So there's no judges. It's the audience that actually has to pick 3 individuals. It's not just the person you came to see. You have to pick 2 other individuals, so it makes it as fair as possible. Right? Because and even the contestants, they vote for each other. They can't vote for themselves, obviously. But it's 3 minutes.
I think it's amazing, that.
Yeah, it's great. It's one of my favorite events.
Wow.
I love it because, I won the Canadian Motivational Speaker Talent Search.
Yes, I was going to mention that.
Ago, and I loved it so much what it did for me. I went from being like a $500 an hour speaker to a $5,000 an hour speaker in like 3 minutes, right? So changed my entire life, and I wanted to give this back to people because it's such a powerful vehicle. It's such a valuable vehicle to be able to share your story and to be able to speak and to be able to have messaging within those speeches that turn people's lives around. Right?
So you said 3 minutes.
3 minutes with a 30-second grace. Okay. So at 3:30, you're disqualified, right? So imagine Canadian Idol or American Idol, but instead of singing, it's speaking.
Well, let me tell you something, because that's not easy, but
not in Spanish.
Yes,
English.
but
only in English though. You don't need
no. I understand. You're fun. That is difficult for people who really are starting, or even though even though they might be around doing the keynote speaker, still it's a challenge. You have to
they're afraid of speaking and getting on stage and feeling like they're being judged. Right, like look what I just shared. I just shared some pretty dark, deep stuff. Right?
Yeah.
Are people judging me? Maybe. Are those the people that I want in my network? No. The ones that, Tony Robbins, his son is a good friend of mine. When he was at my house, I was asking him, what's the most influential tool to get out there as an expert? Is it speaking? Is it writing? Is it doing podcasts?
I want to hear that.
And he was like, it's all of them. And I was like, oh, okay, why do you say that? He goes, it's just like mixed martial arts. In mixed martial arts, it's not enough just to be into karate or jiu-jitsu or whatever. You have a merger of all of them to compete on the global scale.
Wow.
But he's like, more important than that, what if you have a blind person in your audience? What if you have a deaf person in your audience? How do you talk to them? So to speak, kinesthetically, where you're using your hands and showing people, to have your voice and to have written stuff on the screen. So you're serving all 3, audio, visual, and kinesthetic all the time as a professional. Wow.
You open up, you know what? It's interesting because every time you sit down with someone, especially as James or any other speaker, thank you.
By the way, Rosemary's my mother's name, and I don't run into too many of them, so I love you just for that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I remember that very well. So Rosemary, yes, it's a French name, and is a rose. So every time you looked, or you will see around their show, you will see always the rose behind, because that's where I belong. I'm that rose, that flower, And
roses are very prominent in my life.
Yeah,
to the rose.
I love it. But I must say that it is so important for people to feel not afraid. And I think breaking...
It's okay to share. It's okay to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is the new sexy.
Yeah, I agree completely with that. But having that barrier where you go in front of a stage and you possess, who you are, it's really something that it's you. It's touch. It's where you feel, okay, I can be out there watching over, and people would judge whatever they want, but I am the only one who would judge myself. I think that's the most amazing thing. And to really get these people say, you know what, no matter what, if it's today or not, I will make a change because there was someone who guided me and mentored me and gave me the tools completely to change the spectrum of my own self. I think is amazing.
It's amazing, yeah, and I commend anyone that supports others to do that.
Yes, and maybe if it's not even for everybody to be in the loop, okay, now I am the speaker, at least to be in the audience itself, being in that show, in that program, in that conference, in that environment will change people's life, the way they see others. I think more tolerance will be, something attractive.
And it's also, it allows you to free yourself from the prison of what others think of you. Right?
Yes.
To me, like, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. I just be the best person that I can possibly be. I know I'm a good person. I have a big heart. I have big intentions. I serve kids all over the planet.
Wow.
Right? So people can look at me and say, oh, look at this guy. He looks like this. He looks like that. They'll make their assumptions or their predictions about me. Tony actually said 33% of the world will love you. 33% will absolutely hate you. And 33% don't care. Focus on the 33% that love you and hopefully inspire the others.
I love that, but what about the 1%?
The 1%?
Yes, because you said 33 three times. There's a 1%. What's in there?
That's God.
Amen. And that's not the answer. I knew you were going to answer it. Is it something you're enjoying, guys? If you do, just send in a message here. Pure love. I have Rita Mendoza. Gracias, Rita. You know what? We have Self-Jefe Conference, eh? And with Hector Rodriguez Curbelo, we're having and gathering a lot of people who are coming from United States. Especially, I have Rita Mendoza, who will be one of them, join us. So thank you, Rita, for having the time to come to Canada from United States and being one of the attendants. And not only that, the people who are going to be networking with many others, as I'm sure that you'll come to us. 100%. Okay, wonderful. So I must say that this conference, Self-Jefe Tour Canada, will be in Spanish, but we'll have a translated site for non-speaking Spanish community. So you'll have a microphone in your ear, and then everything will be translated. And perhaps, the joyful time of sharing so much information that will make people to grow in their digital marketing businesses and get the network really starting working for them. I know. I'm just tempted. Okay, February 29 and March 1st, you must be there. You can go to the website www.selfjefe.net/forward Canada. And I have to mention also that this beautiful hair, which, I changed my look. I'm sure everybody's watching. Okay, what did she do? Thank you. It is by Joanne Lee and Mayhew Designs. Hairstylist.
No way, they did my hair too.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You say you caught me, no? And I always put on Facebook her information, so you can always relate into if you want to know. So far, we've gone through very fast in this interview. How do you feel so far?
I feel great.
All right.
I always feel great.
I know you do. So
thank you though.
You're welcome.
Good vibes, all right, guys? Good
vibes. Yes. Oh, it will be good if we're here. Thank you.
That's the one I like.
Okay, tell us about the Reviver Rejuvenation Ranch. This is something very interesting, and I think people must watch right now and put very much attention. This is why James Earth is here today, because what he have done with these kids that he's going to talk about have not only changed his life and people's life as a family, but it had tremendously changed here in Canada, many other people.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, big thanks for having me here and allowing me to share the messaging about Reviver Rejuvenation Ranch for at-risk youth, for teens between the ages of 14 to 17 years young. Kids who have fallen off track, kids who have gotten involved in gang life, violence, drugs, prison, in and out of trouble. I like to call them good kids, bad choices. right? A lot of the kids that get involved in some of these circumstances, I call it, circumstances and situations, they don't have many choices. I mean, when you're, just over here, Jane and Finch community where I work a lot, with a bunch of kids, it's tough when you have 6 guys surrounding you and they're standing on your head, pointing a gun to your head, and
my Lord,
say if you don't join the gang or you don't do this, then we're gonna go beat up your dad, or we're gonna go do something to your little sister. Like, they don't have many choices, and there's nobody out there to protect them. The police can only do so much. They're not around everywhere all the time, right? And the gangs are just prevalent in some of these priority communities in Toronto. There's 13 priority communities in Toronto as it is.
Wow.
Right? You only hear about a few of them, but there's actually quite a few. And go ahead.
Yes, I was going to mention that it's so important what you're saying, but perhaps there's so much out there that's happening and we don't know. It's not given. The news are not given to the communities. You watch some, but in reality, I mean, I remember when back in about 10 years ago, there was a police person who came home, and there was some noises, and he came, and my mom said, "Oh, my daughter, she just want to go out and she doesn't want to stay, and I don't know how to let her be here," and say, "Okay, you must stay here because out there's a lot of trouble." And I remember clearly this policeman said, "Mississauga is the safest city in Canada. However, more than 50% of what's happening outside, it's not even given in the news."
Bingo.
Mm-hmm. And he also said, there's so much out there you won't even know and won't even believe. So what you need to do is to stay home, be with your family, and be sure that if you go out, there's no more time after 12.
Just be smart.
Yeah, exactly. So, and this is breaking news. I'm sure that people who's watching and listening is like, "Oh, hello, I didn't know this."
I'm a Mississauga boy, I know.
I do. So, out of these conversations with all the kids that you're bringing outside from Canada, where do they go? Because I know this story, but I want you to tell the audience.
Yeah, I mean, it's, like I said, it's never too late to be great. So,
Okay.
and to remind these kids, I mean, they're in a dark place. Like, a lot of these kids, I mean, they've given up hope. I'm a teen suicide negotiator, so
Wow.
I'll keep them on the phone while, the ambulance, I can call the ambulance. If I call the police, I'm a snitch, right? So we all know what happens to snitches, right, and rats. Right, in my world, they don't survive, so that's not even an option. However, calling the ambulance to support them and helping them, the ambulance by default will call the police, and we'll have officers breaking down a door, and there'll be a young boy like looking to hang himself in the middle of the room.
Wow.
Right, and then to get them from that point now to not only surviving but thriving. I had one young girl that I was working with, a 16-year-old girl. Actually, the daughter of one of my good friends, Pills. She was pregnant. The boyfriend. She had it done in a way where the girl had a miscarriage, right?
Okay.
Obviously, I can't say any names to
no, for sure.
And the confidentiality of the individual. But she called me, and she graduated from a course. I won't tell you which course it is, but it was a personal development course, and she's only 16. So she took it upon herself after going through all that, and she didn't call me for quite some time. So usually they'll talk with me maybe 2-3 times a day sometimes when it's happening, and then it turns to 2-3 times a week, and then maybe 6 months later I'll hear from them again. And she called me 6 months later, and she's like, "I have some really good news. I'm graduating from such and such," right? She goes, "I want you to be my date." And I was like, I was crying. I was bawling. Wow. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" She turned her life around from that moment. And just to be that person that intercepted this girl potentially losing her life.
Wow.
Right? I mean, there's nothing more rewarding than that. I mean, my hair stands on end with my hair is like electric. And I only feel that a few times. And usually when you get that, that's bliss, right?
I can feel it.
Bliss is God's currency.
You know what? This is very touchy. I mean, given this kind of example, does really become something that you live every day, because when you go outside, you take that phone and you do the same replicable over and over and over. There's gonna be eventually one time that's gonna happen again. Mm-hmm. And if it happens, it's something that you have achieved, and now in a different perspective and different person, and it's not only one life. We're talking that generations to come.
Ripple effects.
Exactly. Right. So it's like, the waves.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Going. It keeps going. Yeah. Exactly. So
a lot of people get affected by these kids.
100%. Yeah. And I think this is so important. You that you're listening tonight and you want to make a difference, start with your own life. Start changing those behaviors that may not be the next option for you or what you really need, and start being an example, because what we live for is what we outgive, and that's why you're here tonight.
I love yourself, and if there's any moms and dads out there, without a second thought, go and tell your children that you love them, and tell them every single day.
I do so, and I tell you something tonight.
That's what's missing. That's why a lot of these kids are in this situation.
100%.
Love or lack of love. It's usually a scale, right?
Yes, and now that we're talking this is very serious. I read a story just right now, maybe about 2 or 3 days ago, that it was here in Toronto. There was a girl who took the chance to take away her life, and she left a letter to the parents. And she said how much she loved them and how much she knew that they care for her, because gave all kind of things, trips and everything necessary. And she didn't want to hurt them. But what she was doing is in a perspective of taking away the grief that she has inside, because she didn't have the time for them to say, I love you. And also there was someone inside the
story of my life.
Yes.
I know that story.
Well, you know it?
I know my parents love me. Like my
yes.
my parents were my heroes.
Yes.
Just coming from a very strict Central European traditional family.
Got you.
Be tough. Boys don't cry. Be a man. From a very young age.
And it's not the reality. We need to cry. I think it's so important for any human being, cry it out whatever you feel. Yeah. And that's how really human beings are. And
when you're told boys don't cry or don't be weak, or
you're diminishing the person.
Of course, as a young boy, they just want to be boys. When you're forced to be a man too young, and you get put into situations that against your will, not necessarily by my parents, but by other people that I've surrounded myself with. We are the company that we keep. Like, pick the 5 people that are closest to you. Are they positive or negative for you? And if they're negative, say goodbye and send them love. Period. Immediately.
And that should be period, eh? I told you. In this media world that I live, I get to choose really who's with me and who's not. And I'm very upfront. I'm sorry, but that's the reality. And there's times...
You know your worth, right?
Yes.
You know your worth. And you
100%.
People. I met many of them.
You know what?
I'm working with some of them, so it's great. Like, thank you for the introductions. Always quality introductions.
Wonderful. So, and environment about love is what you really want in your life. I mean, at least for me, I know for you, for sure, this is what we are. We're love. And when people start with hatreds and with you said this and say that and go around that fume of black energy, what do you do? I mean, I'm sorry, I'm tough. I said, thank you, but it's enough. And I think a lot of people should step on and say the same thing, because it's a toxic relationship, regardless. Every human being needs respect, should deserve the respect, and needs to be the respectful person for others. And that's where everything starts. I'm sure that once you pass through all the experiences negatively and you start realizing I'm so worthy because you have gotten you.
That's a huge thing. The people, they don't feel worthy, right? There's a guilt there for some reason, And what's interesting is we're talking about the 13 priority neighborhoods, where there's a lot of poor kids, right? I work with rich kids as well, right? So I have an equal split between poor and rich kids. Some of the rich kids coming from like Oakville, let's take for example, where I used to live when I was married before I escaped. And then I basically was working with these kids with, even some of the parents or that are MPs,
yes,
police officers, school teachers. Their kids are like the crack dealer of the high school, Like go figure, right? So what happened there? Where is the disconnect? They got all the money in the world, and people just assume because they have all the money in the world that they'll be okay. They're worse off because nobody cares, nobody sees it, and they think mommy and daddy has enough money, but they've never heard "I love you" from mommy and daddy, or mommy and daddy are too busy to even pay attention to them. And guess what? They end up doing some pretty bad stuff, and they got money to do even worse stuff. And get out of it. Then mom comes and bails them out because they got money, and enabling them to do it again and again and again. And I know
that's why it goes viral. You know, totally. I did it once. I can get through once again. I have again the need of my family who's helping me. Once again, roll over.
Poor kids don't have that option.
Exactly. Right. And this is something we're gonna talk because I know you do a split like 80-80 students, right?
Yeah, 80 girls, 80 boys.
Exactly.
Is the program that we're building right now, the Revival Rejuvenation Ranch.
Okay.
We're looking at a number of different properties across Canada. Ideally, we'd like to have 12 of them across Canada, all networked together. 80 of them are rich, 80 of them are poor, 80 of them are girls, 80 of them are boys. Right?
Wow.
All in the same T-shirt. The gang of good now, right? So you don't have some kids wearing Prada and other kids wearing Value Village. You have all the girls in magenta and you have all the boys in cyan, right?
Wow. So they're like tribes.
It's like a tribe, yeah, but one tribe, it's about
humanity.
Yeah. This is the boot camp of love. This is the human camp. There's no more skin color. There's no more nationalism. There's no more, stuff that happens within borders. We're in a global world right now. So I'm a decentralized globalist.
I love that.
Decentralized globalist, humanitarian capitalist, right? Long gone are the days where you have to choose between being a monk and being rich. Now you can be a rich monk. And it's almost your responsibility because a rich monk that has a big, big heart has the ability to give back more. And it doesn't necessarily have to be money. Richness it's the richness in life.
For sure. For sure. Right. And now that you're talking about this, I have to go back in the Spanish. Okay. Amigos, tenemos una entrevista que de verdad esto es un lujo. Yo estoy muy agradecida con James que nos dio la oportunidad de estar aquí con nosotros. Él habla de lo que es el respeto a sí mismo. Las personas negativas hay que sacarlas definitivamente, lamentable, pero hay que hacerlo. También habla de estos niños que están llevando a un programa que se llama Revivir en un rancho, es ahorita en Costa Rica, y también lo está anunciando para hacer en Canadá, para traer una revolución. O sea, son niños entre 14 a 16 años que tienen la oportunidad de rejuvenecer su vida. ¿Cómo? Bueno, van a este lugar, es un centro, ¿no?, de rehabilitación, y son 80 niños pobres, o no pobres, pero no con las mismas oportunidades que los ricos, y 80 ricos. Y se dividen entre 80 mujeres y 80 hombres. Entonces, cuando tú ves esto, tú dices, wow, pero espérate un minuto, ¿de qué se trata? Bueno, simple. Se trata de traer realmente ese cambio en ellos. Muchos de estos niños no tienen padres que le dicen yo te quiero, yo te amo, eres especial, tú eres digno de tu vida. Y de eso estamos hablando, de que las personas tienen que entender qué valor tienen. Y cuando tú entiendes cuál es tu valor como ser humano, no hay nadie que te derrumbe. No hay necesidad de buscar aprobación en nadie, por favor. Lo principal que siempre hablo de este programa, ustedes son valiosos, cada uno de ustedes que está escuchando. Y por ser valiosos tenemos que tener respeto, dar respeto y seguir el respeto. Entonces, por tanto, con estos niños, ¿qué va a hacer él? Bueno, precisamente, él es la persona que cuando los niños van a tomar decisiones de quitarse la vida, él ha hecho negociaciones entre el hospital y los niños antes de llamar a la policía. Si llama a la policía, pues es la parte mala, ¿no? Pero él es el negociador de estos niños y de ahí les da la oportunidad de que si no se quitan su vida, pues venga a rejuvenecerse en rehabilitación con el rancho que tienen, que se llama Reviver, y le van a dar todo tipo de clases como estudios, igualmente como si estuvieran en el bachillerato, pero ahora con una fase de desintoxicación y, por supuesto, a nivel emocional, mental y espiritual para que cambien esos patrones, ¿no? So thank you so much, James. I know it takes a little while here, but I'm sure people want to hear it. So
next in Japanese.
Oh my gosh, you're putting it hard on me. I think everybody
said nice things about me.
Oh, come on, I've said it.
This bald, ugly guy right beside me here. You know? She can say anything she wants.
We have from the audience Praveen Patel.
Yeah, Praveen, you are the celebrity.
Yes, he's the celebrity host. I love him. We have also Patricia Lynn Stoggs. Oh, hello, James.
Ash, what's going on, brother?
Hey.
Nice.
Who's Patricia? Hey.
Yeah, Patricia, what's up, Patricia? Hello.
We have someone very special here tonight in studio, and I want just to turn your head, James, towards production. We have Mariana Santos.
Another goddess in the house. Oh my goodness, all these divas.
Yes, and Mariana, as you know, she is the author and a spiritual fitness survivor. Chapter 4, I am chapter 10, and Ben Anthony, who's our friend and singer, he's chapter number 24. We have the second edition. How shall I say that? Second edition brought 29 authors. Do you imagine that? Wow. So in the compilation of 55 authors, all international best-selling author, number 1 from Amazon, both countries, Canada and United States. And we have in that book, Jorge de Jesus Núñez Garcia, who's an announcer. He has another show before this one, Panorama Hispano. Who doesn't know George? I'm sure that everybody knows him, but he's an author now as well. He became number 1, and we're very glad. We had Rita Mendoza, who is right now in the live audience. She's also in that book. We have Rosemary Geese. We have Lori K. Grant, she's in the Dynamo book, right? The series.
She's the recent Dynamo Speaker Talent Search champion.
Wow.
So she's
on
a roll.
Yes, I love Lori. Yeah, I really love.
Congratulations
again,
Lori.
And she's being in the show.
Proud of you.
Thank you.
Oh, she's been here too?
Yeah.
She's been in the hot seat?
Well, yes, she was in another TV show that I had with Tu en Línea TV. So she was there. We did a very nice interview. And she also was meant to come at the beginning of the year, but she has some trouble to come. But she's being here.
She's on fire.
She's on fire. And we have Mariana Santos. I don't know if you want to join us, Mariana. She came just to say hi. Okay, just come in. And I may say that one of the things I love the most is the mission you have.
Thank you.
I think Mariana is proof of that also, because she's being able to talk with him sometimes. So, hello, buddy. We have Mariana Santos. Come and join us because, thank you. My lovely girl. I love her so much. So, and really thankful you came.
Thank you.
This is getting better by the minute.
Yes, because I always say Rosemary, but hello, how are you? Hi. I knew James was going to be here. I can't leave without seeing this amazing man.
Hey, what about me? What about me?
Yes.
Thank you. Good to see you.
It's like, wow. I just saw you there and I started calling everybody, my friends. Yes, go. Because right now he's there. Because we talk a lot about you, James. But it's nothing like to see you in person, have you here. And remember that a lot of Spanish or Latin people is watching you right now. And you are an inspiration for everybody, for every kind of culture, every kind of race, every kind of age.
The human race.
Yes. The human race. So it's good to have someone like you for our community too. It helps a lot. I know what you do, and
for sure
you. Yes.
I love all kids. So
yeah.
To me, there's no race, there's no color, there's no nothing. They're kids.
Exactly. And who better than Rosemary to interview you? So I'm so happy.
Hello, lady. Thank you. Mariana.
I'm blushing now.
Too much hot in here.
Tattoos cover the redness.
Well, just coming from work, my office immigration is upstairs.
Right up.
My school is next door.
Yes.
WEC. This is my area.
Wilson English Center. Come and get your English here.
Yes. So I'm very, very thrilled to have James around us, and this is special radio frequency 5. And we know that James helps a lot of people, not only kids, but he helps all kinds of people. So this is a real inspiration. So we invite all of you guys a todos ustedes, los que no entienden y los que sí entienden el inglés, we invite everybody to follow him in all his social media,
Yes.
Books, shows,
Yes.
absolutely everything. He's a very
We adore
famous
him.
guy. He's a very simple guy, like you can see.
I wore my ties tonight for you guys.
Yes.
Wrong outfit. Sorry.
James,
Wrong show.
how can they reach you if they want to find you on social media? Let us know.
You know the @ symbol, correct? Right?
Yes.
Just my first name, James.
Yes.
And my last name is Ert. It's spelled ERDT, or as the police tell me, Echo Romeo Delta Tango. Right, guys?
I love that.
That's easier to remember.
Instagram, Twitter,
Everything.
Facebook, you name it.
JamesErt.com.
Okay.
Right?
All
And
right.
eventually reviver.ca. That'll be coming out in about 6 months. So
Alrighty.
REVIVER. So frontwards and backwards is the same. .ca.
My Lord, this is right. This is so true. I'm just reading it. Yeah. Wow. Amazing. You know what? I tell you something interesting because now you said about the backwards, like front and back and so on. And my sister, who you know, Ninela, my grandpa wanted my mom to be Lenin. So when he find out that it was a woman, then he says, okay, Ninela. He reversed the name Lenin and then add the A as a woman, isn't it? So it just brings me kind of like a thought.
Simaj. James is Simaj.
Wow.
Simaja add the A. If I was a girl.
Oh, okay.
So, James,
Simaja.
Simaja.
James, can I ask you something? I know, but maybe public wants to know. What's your background?
German.
German. Okay, so German. You know how to speak German?
Ja, natürlich.
There you go. There you go. You speak any other language?
Love and English.
Perfect.
I love that one.
And you, hola, ¿cómo estás?
Yeah, muy bien.
Oh, there you go. Amazing.
No. But I have good news for you that you don't know. You know DJ Explosivo? He has a show here.
No.
Yes.
He does.
Yes.
And you know what the
What a
most
talented
amazing thing?
person, man.
Isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That's one of the introductions I'm talking about.
It is. But let me tell you, Mariana, this is the most amazing thing. Last week when I came and I was here, at the studio, and we were doing a show, that David, Joseph, and I started reading a message from James, and then I shut my cell phone, right? And then I gave the book to DJ Explosivo.
Okay.
So he goes to his cell phone, and as I see, he start looking at his list, and then he punch a picture. And when I see the picture, I said, "That's James. What about James?" And he's, "Yeah, he does books. He does the Dynamo books." I'm like, "Yeah, but I mean, what a coincidence."
Yes.
I'm
We
talking
love
with
DJ,
James, and the guy brings James.
Oh.
So you see how
Yeah.
famous you are?
Yeah.
Hey!
But okay, so if you don't know James, and you need help, okay?
Yes, that's important.
And you need help, James, tell us, how can you help someone, for example, in a situation that you have like a mom that has problems with the son or the daughter, who they think they have drug problems, things like that. Can they call you, or do you have any organization that you work with, or where that person can go, knowing all the stuff that you do to help these kind of people, or like what a person like that can do?
Thank you for asking that question. Very important question, very important answer. I was doing it privately now for possibly about 10 years, and I've built a name for myself doing that. So a lot of it is word of mouth and people just kind of, hearing that I do this, and it was crazy. Like, I'm in the biker community as well. Like, I love Harley Davidsons, and
Nice.
I'm in a riding club, and some of the guys in my club, they're pretty tough dudes, and I got a lot of Colombians, guys from Ecuador, Nicaragua,
You name it.
Mexico, a lot of Spanish guys in my club, right?
Alrighty.
And one of them, he's a big, burly, tough guy, like from Ecuador. And basically, his son turned out to be gay, okay? And basically, he got to the point where it was all about drugs, and he gave up his dancing career, Latin dancing, and just got to a point where he was so devastated. So I have this massive like biker dude sitting there with his wife, and just bawling. Like, there's what can we do? What can we do? What can we do? Right?
Yes.
So the first step is to actually get me with them. Right? I'm not a cop. I'm not a guidance counselor. I'm not their parent. Right? I'm a guy that actually survived the real world in practical fashion, not theoretical. I'm not a teacher. I'm a guide. So everything that I share is not theory. Okay?
Yes, exactly.
It comes from the real world.
Exactly.
Right? So I give them tools. Right? The kids. First, I tell them is nobody's coming to save you, and I just let them digest that.
Wow.
Nobody is coming to save you. So usually, a drug addict or an alcoholic or somebody involved with domestic violence or whatever, they don't stop being a drug addict until they're ready to stop being a drug addict. Nobody can help them. It's up to them. And I know that because I did that. I lived that life, right?
But you help to identify that moment where they say, yes, I am a drug addict or an alcohol addict. Do you I think because you live there, so many people will identify with yourself when you were younger.
Yes.
Yeah.
So do
That's
you
why I
think
get through.
Exactly? So you think with you act more like a psychologist kind of person who will be more open to tell you rather than if they go to an institution.
1,000,000%.
Okay, so
Right,
that's
you know.
what I
You
wanted.
know, this is the guy.
I'm straight with them. I'm not blowing, sugarcoating them. I'm not a guy that went to school to learn all this theory and then come talk to them about drugs, or a police officer saying don't do drugs. Like, they're like, it's like they're not going to get through, right?
Yes.
So we work beside the police, right? The police know what we do and how we do it, right?
Listen,
so we have respect with the police and they have respect with us.
Yeah, so
we do it our way, they do it their way. Even the
Yes.
DARE program, we were just at the station in Halton region, and we were speaking to some very high up officers about what do we have to share if we find out all this information about petty crime or gang violence or this or that. As long as it's not serious, like murder or rape or whatever.
Yes.
We don't have to reveal it. They prefer we don't reveal it. They prefer we work with these kids and we build that confidence and trust with these kids, because the second these kids think we're 5-0 or police or snitches, like, the program's over.
Yes.
Right, so we have the ability to keep that, and they're allowed to share. And when they share, they become vulnerable. And when they become vulnerable, they begin to heal. Right, and then we can get in. So we basically do it in a way with each kid as an individual. Right, each one has different challenges, different stories. Every human being on earth has a different journey.
For sure.
Right, so to really listen to them, and not just listen, hear what they're saying. Right, that's missing in their life.
Yes,
that's missing. They don't have the love. They don't have people paying attention to them. They go and they be the baddest that they can be because mommy and daddy are these rich people that are out and tour all the time and socializing and having parties, and little Joey's like left to his own devices and gets in a lot of trouble.
You know what? I think the thing. The thing that really matters at the end of the day is that negotiation. It's like I said before, it's like a trial, or life or death. What do you choose? And I don't think
that's key. Like the choice. I'm actually going on tour right now with a new speaking keynote called "The Power of Choice." And we have the power of choice in every single given moment of your life.
100%.
So right now we're in this moment, and really this is the only moment that exists. So what are you doing with it? Are you wasting it? Are you being negative? Are you hanging out with negative people?
I love that. Wow.
Are you choosing to be around two beautiful, positive people, here in the Rosemary Sanchez show?
Thank you. Hey! It's been an amazing show. I think the audience got what they really need. I know they will follow you and maybe ask you questions, and
Rosemary, sorry, but this is, for me, is very important because we don't usually have. We do have many Latin American people, very specialists, very professionals in their fields.
Yes,
but I think we really need someone like him. You don't need to speak the same language, to get what you really need. And especially in this country where everybody comes here with a lot of problems, persecution from gangs. In Colombia, you were saying Colombia.
It doesn't matter where they're from. The people coming from that world speak the same language.
Yes, it's true.
We understand each other.
It's
right?
True.
So I work with 14 kids. I have 14 orphan boys that I support in Mumbai, India, where it's my second home. Right? So I'm pegged as coming to bring riches to India, not take them.
Perfect.
Right? So
Wow.
when you're an influencer of youth, you have a responsibility
Yes.
because they can be influenced negatively, right? So I'm obviously being watched and surveyed all the time. I've grown up like that. My life has been like that, and I'm okay with that because I'm a good person, right? So the more attention and attraction that I get, I have tattoos and I wear this. The kids are the ones that I'm looking to have look at me and say, hey, that's somebody that I can talk to.
Yes.
Hey, he's not dressed with a suit and tie. He's not going to tell me, like, don't do drugs or do your homework or
Exactly,
this or
because
that.
they're afraid to go somewhere else.
They're already
Like
past that.
They don't know what to do.
No, like if for them, if you tell them you're gonna go to an institution, like right away they panic and say, "What do I have to really say? What I think, or what I do, or what I really do?" No,
See, the
they're
difference
not.
between those institutions and what we do is we're volunteer. The child is volunteering to come to us. It's not punitive. They're not getting put behind bars. They can run at any time, and they come to us for 1 year. 1 year off the battlefield, right? And then basically we inject
With a
them
reviver.
a heavy dose of love, right? Heavy dose of love, a human tribe, right?
Okay.
Where everybody's integrated together, rich, old, 14 to 17. A lot of moms are like, well, why can't you take my 13-year-old or why can't you take my 18-year-old? Because the 18-year-old is going to kick the crap out of the 13-year-old. Right?
Yeah.
So it's too much of a range,
It
especially
is.
from people coming from the University of the Streets.
Yes.
Right? So
University of the Streets. Wow.
Yeah.
That's key there. Wow, I love it. You know what?
Wow,
It's
it's
been
amazing.
such a pleasure that you have been here, that I got the opportunity to outpour the love there for people who's watching. And Mariana Santos appeared and said, here I am. I have to contribute and give some words of peace, love, joy, and spirit. And I think everybody tonight, when they end up the show and go to bed, or they do their endeavors, they will say, you know what? My time was worth it. 1 hour, I really got what I needed. One word can change and make a difference in my life.
Yes,
And I thank you for that, both of you.
Yes, and this is free, people. This is free. This is the real person right here. Take
if you
advantage.
do have a child that's in between the ages of 14 to 17, then they are going through some problems. You know my name. You can find me on any social media.
James Erd.
I might not answer you within the first 3 months because I get a lot of email and a lot of
Gotcha.
messages and stuff like that. So just bear with me. I will get to you. And just keep trying. Send me message after message. If it's important, you'll get a hold of me.
And you know what? God is in charge. So I know for a fact that if you do so and it's really serious, God will work in your favor. So keep on that.
There's always options.
Yes.
It's never, ever too late. Never too late.
Yes.
Wow, amazing.
Anything else you have to say, Mariana?
No, just thank you, because for me this moment is a very special moment for things that you live every day. And
Yes.
many people know.
Yes.
There's struggles in life, but there's always a hope. And when I met this guy,
Yes.
I had this connection. I met him once, like not long ago. And I had
By a
this-
coincidence
Yes.
or by a purpose?
Yeah,
Because
yeah,
that's a question
both,
there.
both.
Okay. Gotcha.
So I really thank you, because you do bring something for all of us who needs this type of like hope, because sometimes the kids, they don't know that they need something, but me as a mom, or every parent, every brother, or everybody who wants to help, they don't know how to start. So this is how you start, with someone like that, like having this connection with someone that could be your son, because you could be my son, maybe. maybe.
Oh, come on, lady.
We're all connected. Right?
So I just need to spread the word, because this is a Spanish radio, to the Spanish people, to the Latin people. Please follow him. It doesn't matter if I have to spend $1 million to save my son, I will do that. And I think every parent who loves their children, they will do that. But this gets better. This person has many organizations, many shows that you can see for free. So if you don't have the money, if you have the money, you can put him in one of the programs. But this is for every kind of financial situation, I believe,
Yes.
right?
And if you're a mom or a dad out there and you have some extra time and you want to give back to either your own child or some other people's children that don't have the privilege or the opportunities, we have a team of ladies and men, mostly ladies, moms that have lost their kids to gun violence or drugs, and they are our volunteer squad to help raise funds for the kids who need it most.
Wow.
And like I said, like everything from the kids' point of view is volunteer, but everything from the social worker and people that help us is all paid. Right. So, and we actually pay our staff very, very well because we don't want our staff to have a second job. We want them to go home on the weekend and be with their own family,
Love
be with
that.
their kids,
Wow.
come back on Monday fully charged,
That's
and you don't have the
amazing.
turnover. So you pay them. You know, we pay almost double of what the regular rate is for the traditional Canadian social worker. But they're not
for
leaving.
social work. Wow.
They're not
Now,
going
where is the
anywhere.
location,
Uh-huh,
James?
that's
Where is the
amazing.
location that this is at now?
We bought a ranch in Welland last year, and unfortunately, it was a fairly well-to-do community in that particular area, and the community petitioned against us because we were serving criminals. And we actually had to shut the first one down. So now we've shifted our focus into Flamborough, which is like near Waterdown.
Okay.
Right. So we're just looking
How many
at a
hours
space.
away from Toronto?
Waterdown is 20 minutes. It's like between Hamilton and Oakville.
Oh, it's right here.
And Welland was
It's
a bit
right here.
further, right? So
Yes,
more
yes.
towards Crystal Beach area.
Yes.
Right. Beautiful area.
St.
Yes.
Catharines.
What we
Yes.
realized, though, I mean, that's our learning lesson. It was very difficult for me because I had to make a choice, fight them in court and win, which we would have. And my staff was like, yeah, go for it, do it. And because they obviously wanted to get their paychecks, et cetera, they wanted to continue, get the program going. And I was like, that's not the right way to get out of the gate, right? That's the wrong way to get, into the news,
Yes.
with the brand. So
Yeah.
the brand is going to protect a lot of these children, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you can't come out with a negative fashion. So I decided to be like, okay, here's your ranch. We didn't, penalize them in any way. We gave them everything back.
Okay.
Got
Moved
it.
on, and now we're looking at this new space.
James, it's been wonderful time. I really thank you for being here.
Thank you.
I'm sure this is the first for my show. You've been before here, and
Yes.
anything goes, but it won't be the last. So, with all my heart, thank you, Mariana. Thank you coming down and
No, thank
show
you
up
for-
and be who you are always. And I have to say that next week you can't miss the next show we will have. We will have someone on radio. Her name is Sharon Bonilla, and we're going to talk about women. This night will be incredible. So I have
we
to
were
say...
going to talk about women.
Well,
After the program.
for sure. But I must say that one of the things you choose tonight and today is keep forward. Don't lose your focus. Get going with the people that really brings power to you in many ways as being a better human being. And thank you from the bottom of my heart, Rosemary Sanchez, with your show, Hablando Entre Mujeres, talking between women. Thank you to Al Dia Radio, Universos Radio, Urbana TV FM, for sure, Frequency 5 FM, and many others to come very soon. Thank you so much. Blessings. Ciao, ciao.